Video game preservation is a topic that's often overlooked in both the real world and the digital realm. In an era where film or music preservation is heavily valued and taken seriously by professional organizations, game preservation is surprisingly shoved aside by even executives of major video game development and publishing corporations.
What does video game preservation mean? At first glance, it seems like such an obvious answer, and then once you give it a little bit of thought, you'll realize, actually, it's not so simple at all.
Why is video game preservation so important? Well, here's a few examples. Think of a picture you or a loved one have taken, one that you really cherish from an important part of your life. Now, imagine you or someone else took a photo of that photo, but one day you lose the original photo and there's no way to recover it, other than the lesser quality duplicates that remove some of the rich detail and authenticity of the original. Or how about an older sibling, cousin, or even a school bully that took away your access to something you own and enjoy, and will only give it back if you give them something in return, whether that be a favor or some hush money. Essentially, it's exploiting your valued material things for another person's personal gain. That is the current state of video game preservation. Many games have suffered the fate of either never seeing an official re-release for modern consoles, or have straight up had their digital listings removed for purchase, usually due to copyright ownership issues, which involves the game's publishers as well as the owners of any intellectual property involved. Prime example of this, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the movie, the game, was only sold on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 consoles, and then unlisted from their digital stores 4 years later. In other words, if you did not previously purchase and download it when it was officially available, you could not play it anymore through legal means. Thankfully, this is a case of where the game saw a re-release in January of 2021 for all major modern consoles at the time of release. Even so, consumers had to wait over 6 years to even have a chance of accessing that experience once more, unless of course through means of emulation and piracy.
Consider the cases where the community didn't win, where games like PT on PlayStation are gone forever unless you still have it downloaded. Games like Devotion are removed forcibly from your Steam account, and where Titanfall was removed from sale rather than be patched.
Situations like these have caused some major upset in the entertainment world among gamers for over a decade now. Publishers like Nintendo are criticized for playing it safe with their legacy content by always starting with the oldest, cheapest content available for sale on their newest console, and slowly working their way up with a chronological order of consoles and their releases, but never unleashing the full potential of the concept with the console's libraries that people would really like to see ported over. Xbox's latest console in 2013, Xbox One, was initially announced to not even have a shred of backwards compatibility, as it was designed under a different architecture and therefore would not support Xbox 360 or original Xbox disc, nor Xbox arcade titles. This was later addressed and resolved in 2015 when Xbox 360 compatibility was added, but was eventually found out to originally be a launch day feature that was delayed for unknown reasons. So, to conclude this video on the issues of video game preservation, I'd like to add some personal commentary. It sucks. It really undeniably sucks. I've heard stories of major game development companies losing all the original code and assets to a game because they weren't thinking 2 steps ahead, or companies just refusing to re-release a game without a reason given at all, and it needs to stop. Video games may still be a medium not even 3/4 of a century old, but it's been a mainstream industry for a while now and successful for even longer. If game companies new and old really want to show that they care about the consumer's interests, they need to fix their shit with how they view the future of their company's influence on the art world and the history of humanity altogether. If the corporations won't do it, the people will. And that's exactly what they've been doing for years with fan-developed emulators and projects to restore lost or inaccessible content. Emulation is often considered to be illegal, at least by the corporations whose intellectual properties are replicated through free methods, but what's really more important when it comes to the preservation of our world's history? What's legal or what matters?